How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome into the 2026 Sun Conference Softball Media Day. I'm your host, Reagan Harrell, and we kick things off with first-year Florida Memorial head coach Miguel Bookie Nunez. Coach Bookie, I know you are excited. It's been a very hectic last few days. You are the newest coach in the Sun Conference, just named head coach just a few weeks before the season. Coach, we'll start there. Just what have the last few days look like for you? Just getting ready for the season. What's been your primary focus?
My primary focus has been in reference checking on the student athletes that are coming back, make sure that they took care of their business, their classes, all the paperwork they needed to do, the dorms. I mean, it's like you say, I've been running around confirming the schedule, but I gotta tell you, I've had a lot of help. With the athletic director, Chandra Dorsey Felton, and the administrator assistant in the front, Nona Brown. And the staff has been great. Everybody's been helping. Andrew from equipment manager letting me know where we at with uniforms, equipment. I mean, it's been a blessing.
Yeah, it definitely takes a village getting ready for the season. Coach, what was your message to the team when you first met with them?
Well, sir, that's going to be next week when I'm first meeting with them. I mean, we had a Zoom meeting, and I am familiar with the student athletes. In the fall, I worked them out a few times, and I was in the weight room, so I already know the student athletes that are coming back, the young ladies, of what they're capable of, what kind of softball we're going to be playing.
Well, who are a couple of those names, both in the pitching staff and in your lineup, that you're going to rely on for some of this leadership with you taking over in or at Florida Memorial?
Well, you have Camila. She's a utility player. She could play center field, catch, pitch. You have Enrique Kyle and first base, third base. Lenny Hoyes, pitcher. And you have Mariana Gongola, middle infielder, utility person. Ariana DuPont, very surprising young lady. The few times I worked out, she takes nice angles in the outfield and good speed. You have Alisa Estrada, who's also a pitcher. I mean, those are the few names, the few student athletes that I have, and there's a few more that are joining the team that I have to get to know them right away.
Well, Coach, talk about what kind of cultural foundation you're looking to implement in your first year in Miami Gardens.
What I'm trying to do is what I done at St. Thomas back in 1997. Same situation when I took over the program for that year is we're going to concentrate, number one, in the classroom. Number two, let's do the right things and reference wherever we're at, if in the classroom, on the field, out of the field. And the same thing what I did at Nova Southeastern University for the 5 years I was there is we gotta go ahead and be a student first, be an athlete, and be the best you can be.
I love it. Of course, wanting to have the girls prepared for success after their softball days are over. Coach, you have a lot of experience coaching in South Florida, as you said, so both St. Thomas, Nova, at Berry as well, and of course there at Florida Memorial. Talk a little bit about your background as an assistant baseball coach and with baseball and softball in South Florida, and how you would take your experiences with these positions and apply them as head coach for softball at Florida Memorial.
Okay. I'm going into my 35th year, college coach, baseball, softball. It has been 12 years. I've been a head coach twice. Again, first time it's at St. Thomas, 1997, same situation. The coach decides to leave. So took over Nova Southeastern, a dear friend of mine. Robin Handler got sick, so I took over for her until she got well, and then stayed there as an assistant. Helped out other programs. I also coach at St. Pete at junior college. I'm an oldie. I mean, a lot of these young head coaches that are out there, a lot of them I have coached before. And everybody that knows me as Coach Bookie, they know the kind of person I am is, you know, no excuses, hold yourself accountable, and do the best you can with what you have.
Yeah, I was actually just talking with Coach Corbin Weeks, who we'll talk to here in a little bit on Sun Conference Media Days, head coach over at New College of Florida. And he talked about when he was playing at Southeastern, you were coaching baseball at St. Thomas. No doubt, you know the Sun Conference well, my friend. You've been around the block a time or two.
Let me put it to this way. I think the AD, Brad from Weber. Okay.
Yeah.
Know him for a long time. You're talking about 35 years when he was 21 years old.
Oh wow, yeah. No,
Yeah.
I went to Weber. I played football at Weber, so I know Coach Niehammer really well. It's great to have another longtime Sun Conference guy like yourself back in the Sun Conference this time with softball. Coach, last question for you: what can Florida Memorial softball fans expect to see from a team under Coach Bookie?
They're gonna have fun. They're gonna have fun. They're gonna see the type of coach I am. Very persistent in small little things and details. They're gonna go ahead and learn that I don't believe in running, and I don't believe in profanity. There's other ways to get to the student athletes besides making them run miles or triangles. There's other ways that they're going to learn quickly from me, where my previous softball players and baseball players have learned that there's a proper way. I'm not saying running is bad, but you got to find that student athlete's weakness and attack it, and without not make them run a lot. I believe if you miss a sign, that's no problem. You're not going to run for that. If you strike out, nah, you're not going to run. You make an error, you're not going to run. We're going to do something different, and they're going to learn from it, and it's not running.
Well, Coach, I'm looking forward to see what that is, and excited to see the product y'all put out on the field this year and into the future. Coach Miguel Bookie Nunez, Florida Memorial. Coach, thank you so much for your time today.
You're welcome. Take care, okay?
Yes, sir. You too. Next up on Sun Conference Softball Media Day, we head up to Lake Wales, talk with Warner University head coach Megan Smith. Next up on the 2026 Sun Conference Softball Media Day, we welcome on Warner University head coach Megan Smith. Coach, how we doing in beautiful Lake Wales?
Doing well. How about you?
Phenomenal. Ready to rock and roll. Another great season for
Yes, sir.
Royal Softball. Coach, talk to me about what you and your staff have been really focused on this offseason, getting ready for 2026.
Yeah, so we just wanted to take the time to get to know our new players that came in, really work on building that team chemistry in the off season, and the girls really, took hold of that and they kind of ran with it. They did stuff off the field on their own time, just being intentional about it and just really building that chemistry. So we're super excited.
Well, I mean, speaking of your staff, Coach Chrissy Sprague has been on your staff with you since 2018. I just see you smiling. She does such
Yeah.
a great job with you with Warner Softball. Can you talk a little bit about her role and how she makes your life a little bit easier?
Yeah, I call her my wing woman. I mean, she is in every aspect from top to bottom. Obviously, her specialty is pitching. She is my pitching coach, but she works with our hitters, my corners. We kind of got our hands in a little bit of everything. But I honestly, I am blessed to have her. There is in my opinion, like no one like her, and just everything that she does for me. This past fall we did go through some trials with her. She did have breast cancer. She went through surgery, recovery. They got it all, praise God. And so she is just got released the other day. So just in time for spring practices and to be able to get going. But I am just so blessed to have her. She helps me tremendously.
That's incredible. I didn't know that. Definitely will be keeping Coach Christie in my prayers and all of our prayers, of course. That's awesome. And I knew she wasn't going to miss softball season though. She's going to be
She was
ready to
not.
go.
She was determined.
Well, Coach, looking at the team taking the field in 2026, talk to me about some returning players that have made some strides forward this offseason.
Yeah, the first one I'd like to mention is KK, Kirsten Garman. She's one of our pitchers. We had to rely on her a lot last year, and she, was still kind of in those growing stages last year, and Coach Christie really working with her and us just developing her a little bit more. So I think she grew a lot just from spring last year because we literally had to lean on her. She took the time over the summer, came in, had a pretty decent fall. So she has made tremendous strides. So I look for her to be a key pitcher for us this year. I also have Abby Crawford. She's one of my outfielders. She was a freshman last year. Didn't see a lot of playing time, but she is a very coachable young lady. She just took everything that I told her and poured into her, and she had a really good fall for us. So I'm excited to see her. And another pitcher, didn't see too much last year, but Elle Hernandez, she's a sophomore for us this year. But I'm looking for her to be pretty decent for us this year. So I'm excited.
We're going to talk about some new faces in Lake Wales that the Royal Faithful should be really excited about this year.
Yeah, I had a transfer come in. She's a infielder. Her name is Hannah. She is a neat kid. They're kids to me, but they're young women, But she is just fun to watch. On the field, she doesn't take it too serious. She just goes out there and she just plays. And I love that about her. So I'm excited for the fans to watch her on the field. And new to playing this year, but not to our roster. I've got Wags, Alicia Wagner. She was a transfer to us last year, but she had to have another knee surgery. She's another infielder as well. So she's going to be one to keep an eye on as well.
Well, Coach, with a couple of new faces returning, some returning players doing well, and of course, you and Coach Christie with a strong staff in Lake Wales. How would you describe the identity of the 2026 Royal softball team?
Yeah, I love that you asked this question. We talk a lot about identity just within the team. A verse coming in, team meeting day one. I pick a team verse, and then the girls have their team verse for what they want to focus on. But this year, I had focused on for a main verse was Philippians 4:13. It's very common for people that have heard it. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. We talk a lot about empowerment, being young women, being empowered, and for the Lord giving us that strength to go out and play. And, this game doesn't define us as young women. And we talk a lot about that. The sport, it doesn't define us as people. Our identity is in Christ. And the team verse that the girls chose was Colossians 3:23. Whatever you do, work at it with all of your heart, as working for the Lord, not for man. So they have come up with our motto this year is one team, one heart, one purpose. And we play for someone bigger than us, and that is our Lord and Savior. And I know that if the girls stick to that and we stay true and keeping him at the center of all we do, we're going to go through the highs and the lows and all the in-betweens like any team will. We're going to face challenges, but with the strength from the Lord that he can only provide, we're going to be successful on and off the field. And I know that as young women, I have seen that in them this past fall season, and just young women on my team that have given their lives to Christ. They have been water baptized, and I have just seen God move in our team. And so I know if we keep him at the forefront, we're going to be successful.
One team, one heart, one purpose. I love that, Coach. If y'all put that on a shirt, save an adult large for
I
me.
got you. I do.
Coach Rouse, the baseball coach, is talking about hooking me up with a hat. So look forward to that with the baseball media day. I tell you what,
I'll get you some shirts.
if I get the shirt and hat, if I go to my alma mater, they won't know what to do with me.
Oh, that's okay. You can support the
Yeah,
Navy and gold over here.
absolutely. Hey, working for the Sun Conference now. Got to stay neutral. Coach Megan
That's
Smith,
right.
thank you so much. Great talking with you as always. Best of luck this season.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Of course. And speaking of my alma mater, we're going to head across the lake and talk with first year head coach for the Weber Warriors, Coach Holly Ill, next up. Next up on the 2026 Sun Conference Softball Media Day, we welcome on first year head coach of the Weber Warriors, Coach Holly Ill. Coach, ready for year one in Babson Park? Exciting time. Countdown, just a few more weeks before the season kicks off. How's everything going in beautiful Babson Park?
It's going great. Well, foggy day today, but it's still going great out here. We got started this week and really excited to see, them just put it all out on the field and have some fun.
Well, Coach Weber softball's got a good history. It's always fun going to games at Nancy Nichols Field. Student body does a really good job setting the environment there, and I'm sure you're excited to finally see it. What can Warrior fans expect to see from a Holly Ill coach team this year?
A lot of excitement, a lot of, I guess you could say crazy different things out there. I like to do different things that other coaches may not do out on the field. But my girls, I always strive to, make sure they're having fun out there and enjoying the game and, kind of going back to that little girl they once were and just loving it and having fun, loving each other and, bringing home some victories. So.
Awesome. Well, Coach, talk to us a little bit about your coaching staff. Who joined you and what did they bring to the program?
Yeah, well, I have Grace Kidwell. She actually was on the team last year, so she brings a lot of aspect of everything that, she knew as a player and being here and, what needed to be changed and stuff like that. A little inside scoop from the girls, I guess you could say. And then she's also really, really helpful for me in the technology side and stuff like that. So she gets in there and gets things done that I'm not the best at. So we complement each other well, and she's just a great person and great to work with. We also have another former player who's a grad assistant, JK, and she's been great also. She's just out there having fun and, keeping the girls together, I guess you could say. So they're all great. It's a great staff. I'm very happy with them. I tell them all the time they're one of my favorite staffs I've had. So it's great having them, and I'm looking forward to seeing them grow as coaches.
Yeah, it's great to be a first year coach at a new program and have some young ladies there that obviously know the program, know the team really well, help your transition go smooth. What it will obviously I'm sure has helped your transition be smooth. And especially when we get to play in softball, you return a senior pitcher in Taylor Thomas and junior first baseman in Talia Romero. They both had phenomenal 2025 seasons. Talia being first team all conference, Taylor being second team all Sun Conference. How have they set up as leaders for you in your first few months in Babson Park? And what's really sets those two apart of being not only a couple of the best players in the Sun Conference, but across the NAIA?
Yeah, I mean, they are both awesome. They're awesome people. They're awesome on the field, off the field. They always do what they're asked, and they always go the extra mile for their teammates and for just random people around campus and stuff. That was one thing, taking a new coaching job, you worry about, am I going to have pitching? Is there, any players on the team? So I was really excited to see that we had Taylor. And then, you can do your research and you're like, okay, is she that good? And then you see her in person, you're like, okay, she's a stud, so this is going to be awesome. And then, I love working with pitchers. So it's been great getting to work with her and getting to see everything that she can do. And I'm excited to see her mow everybody down this year. And, same with Talia. She comes out there, she puts in the work and she makes sure if everybody else is working. And, I'm really excited to see what she does. We've made some tweaks to both of them, and I think they're going to cause some even more damage this year than they did the years before. So I'm really excited to see that.
Well, Coach, you took over this summer. Who are some other players that have been in Babson Park the last couple of years that really impressed you heading into this season?
Yeah, another senior, Chloe Rayner. I think she's going to do big things this year. She formerly, kind of just played the pitcher role, but I think she's going to do big at the plate for us and somewhere else on the field. I'm going to find somewhere to put her. I don't know where, but you're going to see her out there doing other things other than pitching. And I think she's going to do really well at that and really help the team out a lot. And so I'm really excited for her to have that chance to do that this year, especially, her senior year getting to do that. So I think she's going to do some work. We also have, oh, you talked about former players. Sorry, I got sidetracked. I started thinking about everything. Nico, she's also a returner. She's going to do some big things out there. She crushes it with her speed and her energy, and just everyone on the team. She's one of those girls people gravitate to. So I'm really excited to see what she does as well.
And Coach, what about some new faces that you've brought in or new just to Babson Park that Warrior fans should be really excited about this year?
Yeah, well, we have a transfer, JUCO transfer in Aaliyah. I think she's going to help us out a lot. She's a great kid. She works hard. And, she brings that spirit, that spunk, that energy too. And she just wants to win and wants to be great and do what it takes. So I'm excited to see what she does. And then we only have two freshmen, but one of them stands out at the plate a lot, Eliana Hernandez. And I think, she's going to crush it at the plate when given those opportunities. So I'm excited for that as well.
Awesome, Coach. Last question for you. What are your goals for Weber softball in your first year at the Bab?
Yeah, I just want to get them back, get their confidence back, and get them back to the wins that they were once, ranked and stuff. That's the goal, get them back on top and, just keep the spirit alive and keep growing together and, hopefully get back to that championship level.
Awesome. 2026 brings in the Holly Ill era in Babson Park. Coach, good luck this season.
Thank you. Thank you.
Of course. And next up, we head to Ave Maria. We talk with another first year head coach in Trinity Medina. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, next up on the 2026 Unconference Softball Media Day, we welcome on first year head coach for the Ave Maria Gyrenes, Coach Trinity Medina. Coach, how we doing down in beautiful Ave Maria?
We're doing great. Thank you. How about yourself?
Awesome, awesome, my friend. Excited. A new era for Gyrene softball. I know the last few months have come at you pretty quick. We were actually just talking about I was playing football at Weber, same time you were playing softball at Indiana Wesleyan. Now we're both here working in the Sun Conference. How time flies, but obviously many blessings for you to be the head coach there at Ave Maria. Coach, what have the last few months look like? The fall and everything after you were named the head coach of the Gyrene softball program in late July.
Yeah, honestly, it has been learning everything super, super fast and failing a lot. Something that usually we're not too comfortable with, but at least having the backing of softball, having the backing of my faith, failure isn't the end. It's just a way to grow. So our fall has kind of been one that's centered in what does failure actually look like, kind of redefining what it means to truly fail in the eyes of our teammates, in the eyes of coaches, and then being able to accept that. So for me, learning that and then them learning it at the same time, it's opened a lot of doors and really created some vulnerability for us, which we need. And then I was lucky enough to get an assistant coach just halfway through September. Practice has already started, and it's been an awesome add-on in every little bit, whether it's focusing on our team mentality, putting that first, or it's truly just figuring out, okay, how do we let our athletes think for themselves instead of continuing to give them the answers?
Coach, talk to us a little bit about the foundation you're looking to set in your first year of, first few games and heading into conference plays. What kind of foundation you're looking to set your first year as head coach of the Gyrenes?
Yeah, I think it's going to be different than a lot of first year coaches, but for us, it is putting it in what does it mean to play like Jesus? What does it mean to showcase him on the field? Because when we can do that, everything else follows suits. How to be a servant leader, how to support each other, how to be humble when we do see success, or how to really persevere through adversity. So that's kind of been the first part, and then redefining what it means to really love our sport. I know as an athlete, I fell out of love again and again. And for our girls, really seeing that their view of it was a little broken when I entered into that head coach spot. So it's been pretty cool to see what their definition of it was and kind of reworking it again to, okay, what should it actually be? And then how do we kind of meet in the middle of that? So it's been a joy so far. And my girls are willing to voice their thoughts and they're not afraid anymore. So it's pretty cool.
That's awesome. And you have a really good background playing for Indiana. Wesleyan made the World Series in 2022, also GA'd at Benedictine. We talked about a lot warmer down at Ave Maria in those two spots. But
Mhm.
what set that 2022 Indiana Wesleyan team apart? And what have you brought with you from that team as well as GAing at Benedictine into your first year as head coach at Ave Maria?
Yeah, so that one's fun for me. Um, I really feel like at Indiana Wesleyan, we were so good because, we were able to be ourselves and really learn, okay, who am I as a person before an athlete? And then when we did that for ourselves, our teammates actually got to learn that part. Our coaches got to learn it. So you're going out on the field and you're not worried about letting people down. You're not worried about what other people think beyond the field. So it really just allowed us to prosper in that part. So I know one thing I'm taking to us is we do a lot of retreats. We do a lot of outside softball work. We'll do some random days where we're playing beach volleyball or we're learning a different side of creativity that we didn't have before. And, I've seen several players, which we'll talk about later, really grow into themselves just this fall. They started to last year, but I mean, now they're playing with so much freedom. And then Benedictine was efficiency to the max. Paul Hunt did a super good job at just bringing as much as he could out of practice and really challenging the girls. So our practices are faster paced now. We do a lot in a little time. We combine things as much as we can. And um, truthfully, it's been able to really limit the amount of time that we're on the field. And it's growing the amount of time that we're spending outside of it, being able to do other things beyond our sport.
Yeah, I've had the opportunity being at some Benedictine Ravens
Mhm.
practices and warm-ups before games. High intensity, certainly
Yeah.
a theme with the Paul Hunt practice. Coach, let's look at the players you were just starting to mention there and their potential impact in 2026. Who are some arms you're looking to rely on this year, and what are you looking to see from your pitchers in the circle?
Yeah, one arm for sure who's going to lead us a lot is going to be Caden Sutton, our only senior, kind of returning. And then we've got two more arms, Elizabeth Negron and then Nalani Sokolik. Might be saying her name wrong. But they're two freshmen that are really bringing the speed, bringing movement, and they will challenge batters, whether it's shaking off a pitch and throwing another awesome one or really just diving in deeper with our pitching coach. And then one other arm, I'm super excited. She didn't get a ton of pitch time last year, but Lindsay, who's a returning junior, she's got a lot of movement. So overall, I'm excited to really see their relay work. I don't think we're going to be the team that throws a pitcher the entire game. We're going to be one that is going to catch teams off guard. We're going to mix it up, whether it's speed, movement. A lot of teams are going to be surprised at what our pitchers do.
Well, Coach, looking at your lineup, who are some names that are going to make impacts with the bat this year for you?
Yeah, so one player I was kind of referring to before, Carson Moore. If you look at her batting average, hasn't been the best the last couple of years. And jumping into her senior year, I think that she was at roughly an 800, 900 just in the fall between scrimmages, inner squads, and stuff like that. But she's grown into herself. I don't think we have the team that's going to go hit home runs. But if Moore can follow suit with Carson, there's going to be gap shots left and right. But another one would be Kate McIntyre, starting first baseman last year. Really good contact hitter, but she's going to hunt pitches. I don't think there's a safe pitch from her. So I'd be interested to see what our competitors do when they throw to her.
Well, sounds like a good combination of the lineup and the circle. Win some games in 2026. Coach, talk to the Gyrene fans. What can they be expecting from a Trinity Medina coach team, and why should they be excited for you taking over the softball program?
Yeah, I was really sitting on this one, but we're going to be different. I think that's my favorite compliment. We're not going to be the timid team that we've been before. We're not going to be the over exuberant team that a lot of people might hear on video from Indiana Wesleyan. I know we were really loud when I was a player, but we're going to be one that's constantly changing. Our lineup's never going to stay the same. Our fielders are never going to stay the same. It's going to be a lot of unorthodox work, a lot of crazy things, but for us, all the pieces, it's a different puzzle every pitch, and we're trying to put the right piece in. But fans are going to be excited for the all the different faces and a lot of different names that go out there. That's for sure.
Awesome, Coach. Trinity Medina, first year head coach for the Gyrenes. Excited for you. Good luck this year, Coach.
Thank you.
Awesome. Next up, we head to Sarasota for New College of Florida, another first year head coach in the Sun Conference, Coach Corbin Weeks. Okay, next up on the 2026 Sun Conference Softball Media Day, welcome on first year head coach down in Sarasota, Florida. Welcome you back to the Sunshine State. Once a player in the Sun Conference, Coach Corbin Weeks of New College Softball. Coach Weeks, how we doing, my friend?
Good. Thanks, Reagan.
Know you are excited to be back down in Florida. A little bit warmer weather. Tip of the cap to you, Coach. My coverage with NAI softball, your turnaround of the Montreat program when you got there in 2024 was really impressive. Excited to have you in the Sun Conference. What you can do for the newest member of the Sun Conference, New College of Florida, Coach. What went into your decision to take the New College of Florida job, and what made it the right fit for you?
Yeah, growing up in South Florida, I spent my whole life here. My family's here. And when we went to Montreat in 2019 and I started on the baseball side, I'd always thought that I might want to get back to Florida. And then after the hurricane hit last year and some things had changed, my wife and I just felt like it was a great opportunity here. I feel like the administration here is missionally aligned with some of the things that I want to do as far as winning and bringing in the best talent and not sacrificing education for those things. I believe you can get a great education and you can win at a high level. And so with Mariano and President Corcoran and some of the things they had going on here, I felt like we aligned really well on those fronts.
Looking specifically at your time in North Carolina, you turned around the Montreat softball program when you took over as head coach in 24. You orchestrated a 21 game turnaround. It's one of the best in the last 15, 20 years of NAI softball. How do you plan on replicating that at Sarasota with a program that's obviously young, but already has a strong foundation?
Yeah, so at Montreat, I think it was just a complete culture overhaul, just a realignment in the way that things were thought about and pursued. I ended up hiring assistants that thought like I did, and over the course of time, we replaced players with those that wanted to win and those that wanted to put softball at the forefront. And so obviously there's a lot that goes into it, but it was a complete team effort with coaches and players, less about me and actually more about them and them just believing in my vision for what I wanted it to be. And it's really the success is a credit to them.
Well, shifting focus to Sarasota, obviously you wanted to do well in your first year with the players there. When you took over the summer, Coach, what was your message to the team when you first met with them?
Yeah, so obviously a really delicate situation walking in here to New College with losing Ali Bermudez. And so part of my interview process was meeting with a group of the seniors here. And what I told them was my goal is not to replace Ali Bermudez, but to just carry on the legacy that she had started. And that message went over well with them. And I carried that message to the team once I was hired. And it is the truth. And so Allie had a vision for this program of winning and building a strong culture. And we talk about the things that she envisioned kind of on a daily basis. And so we're carrying out her legacy and continuing what she started.
Looking at the players in Sarasota for you this year, Coach. Let's look at the pitching staff to start. Who are some names that have stood out to you early on, and just what are you looking to see from your pitching staff overall this year?
Yeah, so we're going to rely heavily on two freshmen, and Danny Ebert and Bella Yazzetti. We're super excited for them and their pitching development here with our pitching coach, Mandy Sherman. And I'm also really excited that we returned Sydney Rich, who played a major role here last year, and Kendall Rubel, who followed me back from Montreat. She's from the local area here. And so I think we have a pretty comprehensive staff. They're all different. Obviously, most players are, but we're pretty confident that our pitching staff is, going to compete well this year.
Yeah, pitching's always been a key factor here in the Sun Conference, some All-American level pitching, a lot of experience pitching coming back in the Sun Conference. Excited to see what you have with your staff. Looking at your lineup, though, Coach, who are some bats that Mighty Banyan fans should be excited about in 2026?
Yeah, so the two things that I'm really excited about is returning Sammy Suarez for her last year and Riley Harwood, two key players that have been here in the past. And then obviously, me in recruiting transfers, bringing in a couple of players that we're super excited about. Tori Goodell from Southwest Oregon. She had a really, really good year last year, and we found her out west. And then we added Karina Lewis from Polk State. So we're super excited about her. And then we added probably 10 other transfers between pitchers and position players. And so we're pretty excited. And obviously this team is going to be a little bit different than what I've had in the past, but I think they're going to fare pretty well.
Well, overall, talk to me about what new college fans can expect to see from Coach Corbin Weeks coached team. I know you don't want to reveal everything. Let it play out over the year and over your time in new college, but just overall, talk about the culture and foundation and what you're trying to do there in Sarasota.
Yeah. I think that one of the biggest goals for us is being respected in the Sun Conference. And obviously, when new teams are added for the first few years, it takes time to build a program. But just knowing that new college is serious about softball. And the mentality here is we are going to win here in some capacity. Now, winning takes some time, but we do take softball seriously. It is an honors college, and so we do value, obviously, the academic side. But we're here to win. We want to make it to Columbus. We want to win a World Series. We want to be in the top 25. And so we want to win here, and we will. And again, I think that we have the backing here from our administration and our AD and the support system to do that.
Coach Corbin, we're excited to have you in the Sun Conference. Can't wait to see what y'all do down in Sarasota, my friend. Best of luck here in 2026.
Thanks, Reagan.
Yes, sir. Next up on Sun Conference Softball Media Day, we head to West Palm Beach to talk to Keiser's coach, John Pryor. Next up on the 2026 Sun Conference Softball Media Day, welcome on head coach of the Keiser Seahawks, Coach John Pryor. Coach, how we doing down in beautiful West Palm Beach, my friend?
Great. Lovely day.
Yes, sir. No, things are rolling. Of course, already got a red banner or two in West Palm Beach this year. I know y'all are going to look to make a run at it, take the next step up. Coach, y'all made the opening round last year. Great accomplishment for your program again. What have you and your program taken away from the postseason experience from the last couple of years, especially last year, playing some really good teams in the opening round?
Getting to regionals last year was an experience in itself. We needed it. It was exciting just to make it. And then when we were there, now we need to take what we learned getting our butts kicked and, going into 35-degree weather. It was snowing in Oregon. I think we were just happy to get there. Now we want it more, right? So now we're hungry. So, maybe get there a day or two earlier next year. We've learned a lot. That's all. We'll take that into this year, hopefully.
We returned a lot of good production and, like you said, experience from the 2025 squad. Looking at some of the returning production of a few first-team All-Sun Conference players in the lineup. Faith Campos did a really good job in the outfield. Genesis Iglesias, obviously phenomenal shortstop, has continued to elevate her game over the years in West Palm. What makes those two players one of the best at their positions in the NAI?
Definitely work ethic and experience, right? Genesis has been starting since she was a freshman. Faith transferred in, took over center field right away. Like right now, those two, like they're on autopilot. Those kids, they always have been. Now we're asking them to be leaders. So now it's a little more on their plate this year. When Bridget and Kelsey and Lizzie graduated last year, so now it's Genesis and Faith and Macy, like those girls. It's their team. So they're learning how to be that voice now, which we need.
Yeah, you mentioned some names there that are coming back along with Faith and Genesis to be starters and leaders. Who are some other names, whether they're familiar faces or maybe some new faces that have stepped out or stood out to you heading into the season?
Oh, it'll definitely be a little younger this year. Again, we'll see who comes back and how it goes in the next few weeks. But we have Sarah Phipps, Indian River transfer. She'll be at third base. She replaced Claire, who graduated, right? That was another big, person last year. Might be very young on the right side. So again, I don't want to say anything. We're possibly 2 freshmen starting on the right side. So again, it'll be up to the older kids to get everybody together, and they'll be veterans soon. You know me, I get everybody prepared pretty quickly.
Yeah, love being in that in the Seahawk dugout with you making adjustments on the fly. Someone that really stood out last year early on, and then she was really playing her best ball in Sun Conference play was Mac Masternak. Did a really good job stepping up in the circle for you. Last year, she headlines your pitching staff. This year, after tossing a school record low 1.85 ERA in 2025, what are you looking to see from her and the rest of the pitching staff here in 2026?
Well, Mac got experience last year, right? So even coming out of JUCO or Indian River for 2 years, she barely pitched. So really last year was her first year, like so many innings. Like I think it was overwhelming in the beginning, and now she's used to it. So I expect her to, like take the reign this year. She should be very confident. Same thing with Maggie Miller. Like she barely pitched the first 2 years here. She came in clutch situations last year. Like those two, they should be able to, 1-2 a lot of teams. I hope so. Just the experience alone, and the confidence. And then we have a couple of freshmen. So hopefully they come through too. But yeah, it's pretty much going to be a 1-2 punch, I would say.
Coach, overall, your program seems like it's ready to take that step forward just from the way it's been trending over the last couple of years. Would love to see the Seahawks softball program, crack the top 25, which I know you would love to see that as well. Talk a little bit about the team's mentality and where they're at heading into the year with so many returners that are hungry to get back to the opening round and avenge last year's performance.
Well, every year is a new team. You know that, right? And so, again, last year's team, 39 wins. The year before, 35 wins. Record setting. I don't know what this year's team is going to be. Again, we'll get them prepared. We have some good returners. We have some good freshmen or transfers that came in. It's just a matter of will they gel? Will it work out? Again, I'm good at preparing teams for this kind of stuff. So, hopefully they buy in. That's it. We'll see where it goes, man.
Awesome, Coach. Excited to see what you got in West Palm Beach this year. Best of luck in 2026.
Thank you.
Next up, we head to Brunswick, Georgia, to talk with Coastal Georgia head coach Mike Minnick. But next up on the 2026 Sun Conference Softball Media Day, we welcome on Coastal Georgia head softball coach Mike Minnick. Coach, how you doing, my friend, up in Brunswick, Georgia today?
Doing great, Reagan. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Always good to talk with my fellow Georgia guy up there. No, we're hurting a little bit with our dogs not in the college football playoff, but we can talk about that off air, Coach. I know y'all are excited for this year. Mariners poised for a big 2026. Y'all have got a lot of returning production. How have you and the entire program attacked this offseason in preparation for this year?
Well, we've decided to change a few things. I mean, we've been to 5 straight regionals and we haven't made it to a World Series. So we thought whatever we were doing was good enough to make it there, but it's not good enough to make it to a World Series. So we've changed a few things we're doing in practice, and we're working out the most we've ever worked out. I'm talking about lifting and stuff. And we're hoping that'll help, to maintain us being strong throughout the rest of the season. I mean, the whole season. And we'll see. We just decided to, try a few new things, and hopefully it'll help.
Well, what will certainly help is Riley Mills coming back. She has had a really strong start to her career at Coastal Georgia, both in the lineup and leading the attack in the circle. Can you speak on her development in Brunswick and what she brings to the team?
Yeah, I mean, Riley's just been so consistent her first 2 years, and she definitely should be should have a fantastic junior year. I mean, this fall I thought that was the best I've ever seen her play, and she's really excited. So I'm hoping she takes that next step these next 2 years, like we some of the other great players we've had through the years, and I've seen nothing to think that she's not right now. She's swinging it better than I've ever seen her, and I think she's throwing better than I've ever seen her. But we'll see.
Well, Coach Emma Jones and Riley Smith, they also return after all conference years in 2025. Can you speak on their development this offseason and maybe some other returners that have made some good strides forward the past few months?
Yeah, well, Emma, I mean, I wouldn't, defensively, I wouldn't trade her for any shortstop in the conference. She also hit it good enough to make first team last year. I mean, Emma's just so solid, and she's like all of our sophomores. I mean, our juniors that'll be starting this year, five of them. They've all played over 100 college games because they've been starting since they were freshmen, and she had a great fall too. And then Riley Smith, she's a sophomore. She hit a lot of home runs for us last year, and she'll play first and DH, and she's looked real good in the fall. But we got a ways to go.
Juliana Batts returns to your program. She missed 2025 due to injury after having a really breakout freshman campaign in 24. How impactful will her return be?
Oh, it's huge for us. I mean, she was definitely one of the best three outfielders on the team when she got hurt last fall, missed the whole spring. But her freshman year, she started 50 games in center field, and she'll make a big difference for us coming back this year.
Rich, how about some new faces in Brunswick that could potentially stand out in the Sun Conference this year?
Well, I mean, she's not like I said, Jules is not a newcomer, the one we just talked about, but it's going to make a big difference. We have several, probably a handful of freshmen that are going to help, are going to definitely help us. I think it's maybe the deepest team we've ever had, and some of them, I mean, could be starting depending on the game, but we have several. I mean, pitching, they're going to help with pitching. They're going to help with hitting. They're going to help with speed. They're going to help on defense. So we're excited about the freshmen, but we'll see. They're playing. They're coming in with 10, 11 girls that's played a ton of softball ahead of them.
Well, Coach, you schedule a couple World Series teams, several teams in the top 25 and receiving votes. 2026 is going to be a difficult year. Hitting the road a little bit, but home games, y'all started playing there last year, but new ballpark there on the College of Coastal Georgia. Just talk about how excited you are for your first full season in the new home and just overall excitement for the 2026 campaign.
Well, I mean, we're super excited. Yeah, the new field is great. I mean, everybody that's come here seems to really like it. I mean, huge dugouts. The surface, the infield and the outfield is really nice. We don't have everything we want on the outside yet. It may be a little more time, but it's a great place to play. And we don't have to load up and go somewhere else to play like we did for years. I mean, it's going to help a lot. As far as the 26th season, I mean, we're very excited. And I've got a very motivated team. I mean, we take a lot of pride in softball here, and 4 years in a row from 21 to 24, we won a conference championship, whether it was a regular season or a conference tournament, 5 in those 4 years, 3 in a row at one time, and didn't do it last year. And some people are disappointed. We want to get back to the top, but we know how hard it's going to be. This conference has gotten so tough. I mean, you got 3 other teams that were in the regionals. All had better records than we had last year, and 4 new head coaches in the conference this year. And from everything I've read and heard, they're all going to do a really good job. So it just gets tougher and tougher. So even though we want to get back to the top and we think we got a team that can do it, it's going to be really hard. We know that.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. A lot of new faces, but still a lot of good production. Going to be another great year for Sun Conference softball. Coach Mike Minnick, Coastal Georgia. Thank you so much for your time today, my friend.
Hey, thank you very much, Reagan. Anytime.
Yes, sir.
Go Mariners.
Go Mariners. Coach, we'll head down to Miami. Guards from the northernmost team to one of the southernmost teams in the Sun Conference. Talk with J.C. Gutierrez of the St. Thomas Bobcats. All right, next up on the Sun Conference Softball Media Day, welcome on St. Thomas head coach, reigning champions, back-to-back champions in the Sun Conference, Coach JC Gutierrez. Coach, first off, again, congratulations, just like we were saying last year to you, man. Congratulations, another phenomenal year down in Miami Garden State. Starting to get your foot a hole, starting to figure out the softball thing a little bit, my friend. How's everything going down in Miami?
Everything is great. Thank you for having me. I look forward for this every year.
Well, Coach, like we said, St. Thomas softball looking to build on momentum, but look to continue to prove that y'all are a team to stay around in the hunt for not only the Sun Conference, but to get to Columbus and break that next barrier in the program. How have you built on the momentum from the last couple of years to achieve that goal here in 2026?
Well, momentum is a beautiful thing in softball. It doesn't exist, you know. I wish it would, because we were fortunate to have another great season. And I'll tell you what, though, we would use last year and even the year before that to evaluate where we are, try to continue to do what have been working, but most important, you know, evaluate what we need to improve. As many wins as we have in the past 2 years, we haven't been able to advance to the opening round. We haven't been able to advance the opening round to the World Series, and that's not the ultimate goal. We're happy when we play well, when we improve as a team, and that's pretty much what I'm gonna do and what we have been doing throughout the fall and the summer. Is evaluating what we need to improve and what has been working to keep it the same.
Coach, I know there's a great sense of pride with you, deep tradition at St. Thomas, and with the new faces coming into St. Thomas, they want to build on the legacy that the big names of the past few years have laid down. I think there's been a good foundation for St. Thomas softball, but we enter a new chapter, and we'll find out. I mean, not just with this year, but in years to come, where the program can go with many faces from last year's team, now graduates of St. Thomas, which is obviously the final goal we want to have for all of the athletes. Who are some newcomers coming in that Bobcat fans should be excited about? They're going to help continue building on this legacy.
We have been able to add a few athletes that would bring a speed right to our team and athleticism. Lily and Kiara, they should be able to stop bases, get on base, even without hitting, right? Like creating chaos, and once setting the bases, steal and gain 60 feet, just improve athleticism. Additionally, they should be able to cover a lot of ground defensively and help our pitching staff. We have added athleticism and speed. That's one skill that I've seen that it works, especially in the postseason.
Yeah, still those extra 60 feet, especially when you get up against postseason pitching. You're looking at the opening round y'all were at last year. You had Evangel with a first team All-American. You had Gwinnett with a multi-year first team All-American. But looking at the lineup, Coach, one of your real key players coming back who took a big step up last year at the top of your lineup is Maya Achenbach. She returns. She had 20 extra base hits last year. She hit 368. All these big jumps in numbers from the 2024 season. What made her one of the more feared outfielders in the NAI last year? And just talk about her progression from 2 years ago to last year, and ultimately how she'll be one of the key pieces to your lineup this year.
Well, Maya's first year here, she has taken a gap year. She was, pretty much, recovering from an injury for the entire year. But even her first year, her numbers between the lines were very productive. Last year, she actually played to her capability. Maya is a complete hitter. Maya, we are lucky to have her. She was committed to Division I schools and connections to Ben Anchev and other people was make her to land in SCU. She has got power, but she can also actually bunt and steal bases. Last year, at times, she wanted to go, and I'll say, no, you stay. You have Kaylin hitting behind you. She will bring you in with a double. And so she could, hurt you in many ways offensively, and hopefully this year we could let her run a little bit more and play more to his style of playing. So she's very good. She's very good, and she could do many things in the softball field. She's a complete hitter.
Coach, I remember talking to you about some players that were on campus last year who didn't see the field too much, but you said in years coming up, they will have big impacts. Well, one of the years is now 2026 coming up. Who are some returners that have made some big strides forward that are going to make some noise for you this year?
We've been working on anticipating this year. I consider these like this is the second recruiting class, but a lot of those players have been here playing behind Gavis, Biancas, Anatum, upperclassmen that got the COVID year, right? And now is their time. I mean, we're very high, and we believe that Camila, she was number 3 pitcher last year, will be able to step in and be a legitimate number 1. We also have a few outfielders like Maggie Kirk. She flies around the bases. She could do a lot as well, and she has gotten bigger, stronger. And again, we have Jay coming back. She got hurt last year at the beginning of the season, and she's such a competitive. She gives us so much as a whole, right? Especially what she brings as a leader to our team, which is a big and huge, in our sport. We feel confident that we have players ready to step in and see the work of the one leaving and championing them to give them now the keys to perform. They would decide how good and are we going to be next year, but they're definitely ready and looking forward for the challenge.
Coach, you with a coaching background in baseball, maybe with the media and just a fan background in the sport of baseball. It's been fun over the last 4 years for me, the last 5 years for you. We've both kind of been growing in the sport of softball together. Talk about how you've grown as a softball coach in your first 5 years in the sport.
Man, I have taken one approach, and it's okay, and this is one of my mentors. Like, I want to do things better than before, and I know nothing. I call people, I ask them their opinion, but I also try things out. Some of them translate, and obviously I had some anecdotes and experience in baseball before. Some of the stuff transfer into the game, other stuff they don't, and I'll find out quick. Reagan, I know nothing. I call people. I'm not afraid to fail, right? And it's a small and fast game. So I try to do everything fast, and that would tell me if it works or not.
Yeah, it was fun. A couple of years ago, y'all go up to Klamath Falls, and you get to talk with Greg Stewart, who's obviously very similar background baseball guy that's been now in NAI softball up in Klamath Falls for the Owls almost about 20 years now with a red banner to his name. You open the year 2026 with another great one, Coach Lou Yasinich and the Grandview Vikings. Of course, they went to the World Series last year, went down to Chickasha, Oklahoma, beat University of Science and Arts. Blue blood as it gets if you don't know all the lore of NAI softball. They won the Heart, won opening round, and won some games in Columbus. So a tough test right to start in 2026. Talk to me about that early game. And then, Coach, last question really for you. What will the identity of the 2026 St. Thomas softball team be?
Well, the scheduling. Last year, we had a decent schedule. Definitely not as challenging as this year is going to be. I made it a big deal to create and try to play the toughest schedule that I can possibly play, right? I feel that this will get us ready for the opening round. The previous year, we had a lot of wins, and there's nothing like winning, right? Like, winning is fun. But there's a lot of wins in some losses. This year, we are trying to play tough competition and get us ready for the toughest part of the year, which would be postseason play. So that's the logic behind. And like Grandview, we have Georgia Gwinnett, and we have Marion. Like always, we're going to have a tremendous schedule that is going to test us the entire year. It's going to help us to grow, right? And that's just the thinking behind it. The identity is always the same. We respect the game. We respect our opponents. We fear anybody. We're gonna play to our style of playing and try to get the ball over the play and encourage our team to play, for each other. And you throw strikes, you catch the ball, you will be in every game. Yeah, you get one more than the other team, you win one more inning than the other team at the end, and you win the game. That's been the same, and we're not gonna change that. It simplifies everything that we do. Win every inning, you win the game.
I love it. Well, Coach, very excited to see what you got year 6 in Miami Gardens 2026 season. Coach, good luck this year.
Thank you.
We'll kick it over now to Southeastern head coach Kayla Watkins. Okay, we conclude the 2026 Sun Conference Softball Media Day with Southeastern head coach Kayla Watkins. Coach, how we doing in beautiful Lakeland, Florida today?
We're doing good. It is January, which means it's our favorite time of the year. So,
Yeah, it's fun talking with coaches, baseball and softball that come from up north. They're like, man, it's like 75 degrees in early January or outside.
beautiful. Yes. Yep.
Well, y'all certainly need to be taking advantage of this time because, like we were just talking about, Coach, y'all have quite the schedule in front of y'all, not just with Sun Conference play, which we know what kind of bear that is, but a pair of non-conference games against World Series teams from last year in Reinhardt and Grandview, as well as some top 15 opponents in Our Lady of the Lake and LSU. Both teams had really strong years last year. Olu, of course, winning the World Series 2 years ago. How important are these games for your squad to get prepared for conference play and pick up wins that will hopefully look really good when it comes resume time with opening rounds?
Yeah, obviously a big time. We try to be strategic with what we do scheduling wise. Grandview, even as you were just talking about them, I think they're probably one of our favorite opponents. We've literally played them every year. I've been here. That started before I got here. Lou's just so great. He's kind of up for anything, and so we know anytime we can get them on our schedule, it's going to be quality games and from a classy program. And so, that mainstay is really nice for us. And then, there's enough folks that we can kind of pull from to try to get down here that we feel like with our home February schedule, we can usually pull, some really quality games that maybe the rest of the country is paying attention to. And then, the reason we go to Gulf Shores is to be able to pick up games like the Olu and the LSUA. And we want to be able to do that. It is going to be grindy for sure. And it'll be fun and interesting. I'm sure we'll get into this. Our squad, we really bring back probably pitching's the biggest piece. That is a bit of a known factor. And, but the interesting thing is nothing's known until you open, right? Until you get going. So for us, when we talk about what we want to do as a team, we just want to be excellent in every way. We think that equates to postseason opportunities. And part of doing that is playing games that reveal that, right? Are we tracking in that direction or are we not? And so we want to build, especially our preseason schedule, to tell us that. And then obviously you mentioned, then we can segue into conference play and, be prepared to then play some quality competition in our conference as well. So we're excited about our schedule.
Yeah, I mean, just going back to what you said at the beginning with Coach Lou Yasinich at Grandview, always love when they come down playing Sun Conference teams. Of course, y'all have had some great moments over the years, and great schedule. Sun Conference play is going to be good as well, and pitching is going to, of course, we'll talk a little bit more about Southeastern style of playing later on, but pitching is always a big highlight in Lakeland, and y'all return over 300 innings of sub-2 ERA pitching with Eden Playa and Maria Salenka returning to this circle. Coach, what are you looking to see from them in 2026?
Yeah, I think with both of them, I think our goal will just be that they continue to kind of like keep their head down and be who they are. One of the things that we've talked about a little bit and we'll continue to talk about as we move towards February is we don't need them to do too much, right? Like, I think both of them have been able to be really successful because They've been who they are. They know kind of what are their strengths in the circle, and they just want to compete. And so, for them, that's what we need them to keep doing. It's funny because as both of them entered into our program, we were walking into a year where pitching was a question mark. And the really cool thing looking back is like, man, they were a great answer to that question mark, right? And so just getting to see them grow up under that's been cool. And again, let them be who they are. We've got some other arms that we feel good about, and so that's actually exciting too. Being able to bring some others into that fold, but really just look for Eden and Thea to continue to be who they are and compete when they get in the circle.
Okay, so looking around them in the infield and in your lineup, who are some returning players that have made some big strides forward this offseason? And then I know you're going to keep the cards a little bit close to your chest here, but are there some new faces that you think the Fire fans should get to know before the season even starts?
Yeah, when you talk about returners, particularly infield, I would say like veteran wise in the infield, you're going to see Lauren Seckinger back at third base and Nikki Wasserstrom behind the plate. We do think that we'll have some help for her behind the plate, just in a newcomer that's going to come in and get some innings. So we're excited about that. Lauren really, we anticipate just being able to really hold it down for us. Obviously, her freshman and sophomore season, she played alongside some veteran players but was really good at what she did next to them, right? So the fall was kind of exciting with her, just watching her step into some different roles in terms of leadership and using her voice. So I'm excited to see her continue to do that. I think a lot of that comes from just a play. She loves the game and she wants to compete at a high level, and she recognizes that like her voice is going to be important on our infield. So that's exciting. You move to the outfield, and really, a lot of that is returners, right? So excited about that. Ella Brooks will be back for us, Rayleigh McKinney, Haley Bradley. All three of those kids are everyday starters from a year ago. Got some power and speed out of both of Rayleigh and Ella. And so excited about that. I think Haley Bradley's honestly like one of the best outfielders I've coached in a while. Her reads are just phenomenal. And she just is not going to let a ball hit the green that she can get to. And so that's really fun. It's fun to have them back out there. We'll have some newcomers get in the mix in both infield and outfield, and some returning people that will be looking to get time. So that's kind of cool too. We've got, some girls who will get on the field this year who have been preparing for that the last couple years, right? And so they're hungry, they're excited for the opportunity. And so you'll see some new faces in the infield. They'll be new to you guys, but maybe not new to us, right? And then we've got some other new faces. A couple transfers, Jaden Fuller out of an NAIA program in Indiana, who got a lot of time as a freshman. So we're excited to see what she can do for us on both sides of the ball. She's got a good bat and just a good mind for the game. Alana Rush is a newcomer who we expect to see in the circle some. So we're excited to see what that looks like. She has really, in the circle, we've had some injury stuff in the fall that we've battled through. So we'll know a lot more about that in the next 2 weeks as we come back and these kids are healthy. So a lot of faces, and again, a lot of returners who have been in and out of the mix, some kids that were DP kids, pinch hit kids, right? And their opportunities are right in front of them this year. And so we're excited to see what they'll do with that.
Nice.
I think something that will be different as we've looked at our team is we do just think there's going to be a lot of depth there. And, day to day, I think you're going to see more pieces and more faces popping in and out of lineups. And, we're kind of excited about that. That takes more people, right? And when we think that's going to be something that we're able to utilize this spring.
Well, it's good to have that depth because the fatigue of a 50
Yes.
game regular season. Then you talk about playing 4, 5, 6 games in a conference tournament, then opening round, and
Yep.
ultimately what you get then is like, oh, then we really want to win 5 more
Yeah.
games. So having depth certainly a positive and a good addition for your team this year. Coach, know you have a lot of new faces on the staff as well, but what I've come to know about Southeastern softball with you as a head coach, great pitching, great defense, and a ton of speed on the base paths is definitely what I've seen over the years in Lakeland. Can we expect more of that in 2026?
Yeah, I think so. I think as we've kind of talked about our identity as the fall ended, as we kick off the spring, we really feel like what we do in the circle and what we do defensively, I think one of the reasons we harp on that is we feel like those areas are things we can control, right? Some people may disagree about that in the circle, but I feel like if you can be equipped to do what you're made to do, just like I talked about our girls earlier, you can control a lot of things. Same thing with defensive play. We feel like, man, that's something you can put time in, you can work, and you can produce some known things. So I think we'll continue to see that. I think the speed thing, we'll continue to see that. It'll look a little different, right? Like, do we have a Chapel Cunningham in the lineup stealing 40 bases? Maybe not, right? But we do still have like an Ella coming back, a Rayleigh coming back. We've got some other kids that can run who will get in the lineup. And so probably similar to when we lost Riley, right? Like, are you replacing Riley? Well, probably not immediately. That's not she's once every couple years player. But I still think as a team, we like that identity, right? And so we want to continue to play with that mindset. When you can pitch it and play defense, you eliminate opportunities for opponents to score. And if you can do that, you can put yourself in a position to win games. So that's what we want to look to do.
Yeah, funny you mention Riley's name gives me flashbacks when I was first getting introduced to softball. I'm like, I don't know, is 70 stolen bases? Is that pretty good in this
Normal.
season? Is that not exactly? Will be another fun year for sure in Lakeland for Southeastern softball. Coach, thank you so much for your time today. And Sun Conference softball fans, thank you so much for tuning in to the 2026 Sun Conference Softball Media Day. Going to be another great year down here in the Sun Conference. Coach, good luck in 2026.
Yeah, Reagan, thanks so much for what you do. We appreciate the coverage. It's good for our conference and it's good for our sport. So thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you, Coach.